Welcome to CBS Sports HQ, presented by Guinness. I'm Jenny Dell, and we have made it to Friday. We're now just 2 days away from Super Bowl 55, the matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I've got you covered in the studio, while our talented crew is over in Tampa, Florida, ready to bring you the sights, the interviews, and all the news as we prepare for the big game that's coming up on Sunday. Now, it looks like a beautiful day over there in Tampa, Florida. I know that this weekend is calling for some rain, but I'm seeing a lot of sunshine with the fellas on set. Tommy Tran, how you feeling this morning?
Oh, we're feeling great, Jenny. It started to warm up here out at the Riverwalk area, the Armature Works set that we have here at CBS Sports HQ. Although the wind just a few minutes ago started picking up again, something we've noticed here, particularly early in the week. I'm Tommy Tran, joined by two-time Super Bowl champion Brian McFadden and Pete Prisco. We're getting ready to welcome in a Hall of Famer, a very special guest here live, and it's Will Shields, not only a pro football Hall of Famer, but a college football Hall of Famer as well. And I bring that up, Will, because first of all, thanks for joining us. Secondly, timely that you have just been part of the selection committee there for the college football playoff. What more can you tell us about that development?
You know, I'm excited about being a part of it, being able to get a chance to look at all the different teams. And, you know, it definitely adds a lot of film work to my weekly schedule, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Right now, we haven't had our first meeting yet, but we are going to have it at the end of March, and I'm excited about being a part of the group.
Will, the Hall of Fame Selection Committee is going to make their announcements on Saturday. What is it like as a guy who's now in, waiting to hear your name, and hopefully they do call your name?
You know, it's one of those things where you're trying to figure out exactly what's going to happen. And each year that you go through it, it becomes more and more heart-wrenching of, okay, I should have been in, I could have did this, I could have did that. But really, it's out of your hands and out of your control. And until you actually understand that, it makes a big difference. And you're sitting here watching guys that are, you know, that should be in, and you're walking across the street with those guys that didn't get in or what have you. You have to figure out, it's a hard process to go through. But as you get through it and you're a guy that gets to the final ballot a couple of times, at least when you do get that call, it's one of those special things and special feelings of, wow, they consider me one of the best of the best.
Well, you played your entire career there in Kansas City. We see the Kansas City memorabilia behind you. We know you support that organization through and through. But what are your thoughts about Andy Reid and the job he's currently doing there in Kansas City?
You know, Andy Reid has done an amazing job. I, of course, had the honor of sitting with him on a bus and spending some time. And he didn't know me from Adam, but we talked for about an hour and a half on a bus ride and talked about different things, you know, life, kids, football, all the above. He's one guy that's been able to create, you know, this legacy for himself across the board, regardless if he was on the NFC or AFC side. And he's just general person that has done an unbelievable job with letting the guys be guys and letting them play the game how it should be played, having fun and enjoying what they do.
Well, Will, I'm going to put you on the spot. I know you can handle it because you did a great job in just stuffing interior rushers week in and week out. But during your career there at Kansas City, you blocked for 3 big-name running backs: Marcus Allen, Priest Holmes, and Larry Johnson. Start, sit, cut. If you can start a guy, sit a guy, and cut a guy, who would it be?
You know, that's a tough one because, you know, we do have one of those that's in the Hall of Fame. And, you know, I had to start with him, and I would sit Priest, and then I would have to cut Larry.
That's fair. That makes sense, right, Pete?
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot again. Chris Jones is a dominant inside player on this Chiefs defense. How would Will Shields handle him?
Ooh.
You know, and watching how Chris plays and what he does, unusual, unbeknownst to him, I'm a tight setter, so I don't sit far off the line of scrimmage. So his long arms would have to match my long arms, and I'd be trying to strike him right away. So take his thunder away from him so he doesn't get a good start on me. So that's what I would do: inside out, quick hand, make sure that he has to get off the ball a little faster than I do.
Well, during your career, you played against a lot of great interior rushers. And, you know, just when I get a chance to talk to Hall of Famers, I love to get their opinions about some of the battles they went through. But what interior rusher, defensive lineman, gave you the most problems?
John Randall, hands down.
Who was that guy?
He was the thing about it is that he could do everything from one stance. He was finesse and power and violence all in one, and he could do it on any snap. And to me, that made it a little more difficult for me to figure out exactly what to do in him, especially on pass downs. Um, and then the other person was Trevor Price. He was a guy that gave me a hard time because of his length. He could get his hands on me before I could get my hands on him, and that made it a little difficult. But those two guys really were the catalyst that, when you got ready to play them, you had to be, really focused in, laser focused, because you made a mistake, they made you pay for it.
Well, for a long time, the perception out there used to be, the tackles are the guys. They're the glamour guys. Guards, you just you get two guys and you go play. That's kind of changed a little bit. I think you're seeing guards go into the Hall of Fame. Steve Hutchinson went in, yourself. Do you think the perception of the position is now changing a little bit for the better?
Well, I think across the board, they're trying to figure out, okay, what position has we not been able to highlight and pull what they do on a regular basis, because it's not normal for you to look in. We don't have the stats. We don't have the other pieces that go along with it. So we have to make up for it with basically Super Bowl rings or how many games you played and being an Iron Man and other aspects of the game that we have to sort of build on. And I think that's what made it so more prevalent to get more guys on the interior into the Hall of Fame.
When you look at all the prolific guards that have played in the National Football League, if you can give me your top 3 guards to ever do it, or top 4, who would be on that list?
Well, you have to say Larry Allen would be one because of how he was built. He was, he's a guy that was basically built to play guard. The other one would be the guard that played at Minnesota. He was prolific at what he did. And then, I guess the interior guard I'm trying to think of his last name. His brother is actually up for the Hall of Fame this year. Interior guard for the Texans, which used to be Houston. And those would be sort of the top 3 guys that you would say that you would emulate and want to be like when you grow up.
Yeah, Bruce Matthews is the one you're thinking of for the,
there we go.
For the tight Texans. Yeah. Hey, Will, one last thing I have to ask you. The team has had a ton of offensive line injuries in the last couple weeks. Did they call you?
No, they didn't call me, man. I'm out of the Rolodex these days. I've been out too long. They're like, yeah, no, we're not even thinking about you, man. We've got to find some other kids to get this done.
So as we get ready for the game, we got a couple more before we let you go. Will, who do you like in the game? Are you backing your Chiefs here on Super Bowl Sunday?
Oh yeah, backing the Chiefs to go ahead and win, get this done, and get that back to back, and then start working on the next one for next year.
And tell us a little bit more about what you're doing with Novo Nordisk there and promoting, fighting obesity and the like, a little bit more of the partnership that you've got going on.
Well, the partnership is, huddle up and it's let's talk obesity. Let's talk about, healthy lifestyles. How do you build the healthy lifestyle? And we all have went through one way or another, and we're all built differently. And we got to understand that we try to get to what we consider our natural walking weight. And it's hard to find out what that is when we're not eating the same way that we should be eating, and figuring out all the little nuances that make you feel better on a day-to-day basis. And so we're just trying to educate and celebrate those as we start walking our way through it together, and let people know that you're not by yourself. We're all through it, and we're all going to work out to be as the best person we could be.
The Hall of Famer Will Shields joining us here on CBS Sports HQ. Will, stay safe, be well, enjoy the game. Congratulations again on that new endeavor. And we primed you up, putting you on the spot. You're going to have some of those decisions to make down the road. We certainly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.